Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to On the Mic with Mike. It is the premier business radio program in the area. I'm your host, Mike King. I appreciate you being here with me. The views expressed to your mind have no connection to, support, of, agreement with any other host, information, or ads on the station. I don't work for the station. My program just airs here on a daily basis. We'd like to thank our show sponsors, Tom Childry, the credit card guy, as well as Andy Taylor and Junk Luggers. So, Andy Taylor, if you have things around the house that you need removed, everything from a hot tub to an entire household, make sure you can reach Andy Taylor and they can help you. That's things, not people. If you have people that you need removed, maybe don't make the deal as good, so then they might move out. Also, so with Tom Childry, the credit card guy, if you're a credit card merchant service issues, Tom Childry's the man. He's been doing it for more than 20 years. Both of those gentlemen do some great things in the community and support all the work that we do here on the Mic with Mike. On the Mic with Mike, we highlight partnerships, people, social enterprise, as well as organizations. Every so often, we touch on issues of the day. So to get more information on me, you can follow me on all social platforms, hashtag Mike King Biz, hashtag On the Mic with Mike. Today, we have an outstanding segment. Hey, folks, this is a business and community organization collaboration. We like to thank our good friends over at the Hodges Partnership. They always bring the coolest people. You know, they're always out there with their finger on what's happening out there. So we have Jason Convica from Allen and Allen, and Audrey Trussell from the United Way. Did I get that right?
You did.
There you go.
Nailed it.
All righty, I nailed it. That's good. It's Tuesday morning getting started for us here. So you can catch this great information 5 to 7 a.m. on ESPN Richmond, which is 106.1. Audrey, we'll start with you. Tell a little bit about your organization, what you guys do, and the partnership that you guys are working with Allen and Allen.
Awesome, Mike. Thanks so much, and thanks for having us here this morning. My name's Audrey Trussell. I'm the Vice President for Community Impact at United Way of Greater Richmond and Petersburg, and we cover 11 localities here in Virginia and serve the people and the organizations and the places that make it a wonderful place to be. The reality is it's not equal opportunity for everyone in our region, and a lot of folks face barriers on their path to success. United Way is all about bringing people together around the causes that we can't argue against. Everyone deserves a roof over their head, food in their bellies, an opportunity to achieve their dream, to graduate high school, to have a career and a stable financial situation. And United Way pulls together nonprofits and businesses like Allen and Allen, community service providers and people to create a system that will support everyone on their path to success.
Okay, so I'm not an expert, but from what I know is that the United Way is where nonprofits go for help. And that's sort of what we see it when you have the drive. You know, you could help individually this one, or either you could give to the United Way and they can help a number of organizations. Is that true?
That's perfect, Mike. That's a great description. We do all of our work across 9 steps of success, and it starts with basic needs being met up to born healthy, 3rd grade reading, high school graduation, and even connected and healthy older adults. And it includes all of the wraparound supports and all of the services that people and individuals and community members require to succeed. So when you invest in United Way, you're investing in all of the organizations and all of the partners that come together in our community to make that a reality.
Okay, let's talk a little bit. And for you guys to do what you do, you need rock star partners. And I've been in this area since 2014. I came from State College, Pennsylvania State. Shout out to all the Penn Staters out there. And understanding when I see Allen and Allen, it seems like communities is all through the DNA. Talk a little bit about the need for you guys to have great partners and the part that Allen and Allen plays. And then we're going to give, Jason the floor because, he has to tell his story about Allen and Allen.
That's a great setup for an example of a partnership that is outstanding. And Allen has been one of our partners for over a decade and supports United Way and many of the work and programs that we do, and is a strong partner for the community, with the community, and by the community. The work that we do requires everyone to be involved. We all have to come together to create these opportunities for families and for individuals and for children to succeed. And that means we need support from partners like Allen and Allen. It's financial support, it's time, it's capacity, it's expertise. And what's really unique about United Way is we're a volunteer-run organization. So we have a board, we have a community building committee that all make the decisions and drive what we do here locally with their expertise of the community, of subject areas, of geography, of things that matter to people in this region, and they've experienced it. And Allen is a great example of a business partner coming in to provide that support that is so critical for us being able to serve the thousands and thousands and hundreds of thousands of people that we're able to impact on our daily work that we do here.
You know, Audrey, that's the one thing, and Jason, we're going to throw this to you. We think about the monetary help. We don't think about the other things, and also the organizational help where you guys have, you know, employees going out helping in the community. But the other things that you touch on, uh, that's something that I think that the end user, the person who's like me, doesn't get that community feel. So, Jason, it's time, sir. The floor is yours. Tell a Alan and Alan story, please.
Sure. Well, I'll just tell you a little bit about our background. And of course, I think, as you know, as someone who came in from a great college town to Richmond, we are part of the community. And Allen was founded in 1910. We're one of the oldest personal injury law firms in America. We're the oldest and largest in Virginia, spread out across 8 offices now in the state of Virginia, with Richmond being our home base. But we have offices as far north as Stafford, and south and west as Mechanicsville and Petersburg. In Chesterfield. So like I said, we specialize in helping people who've been injured, and that's been our goal and our cause, you know, since the foundation of this firm. But we're also a community partner, and we recognize how fortunate we are to be allowed to help folks when they need help the most. And one way we can give back is to help those folks, but another way is just to be an active member of our community. And we've done that through our high school scholarship program, which we've been doing now for well over 20 years. We have a Hometown Heroes program where we've awarded hundreds of and recognized hundreds of heroes, hometown heroes who make our communities a better place to live and work. And then we have our partnerships with people like the United Way, which has been a long-standing partnership where we also give back, and not just through financial contributions, but through time and through partnering with them by providing manpower and support where we can.
From the marketing standpoint, when I see the Hometown Heroes one, I always see friends of mine in there, and you always smile and you always give them a shout out from that, because it just shows, what you guys are doing and the joy that they have. They were doing things in the community, and all of a sudden when you guys give them a shout out and a shine, it kind of makes it worthwhile to look at them, because it shows the connection between, say, Alan and the things that you do. Let me ask you, when you go to a different market and you open up, how do you become part of that community? So when you open with 8 offices, when you open an office, you don't just roll up and say, "Hey, we're here." Like, how do you become part of the DNA of a community?
It's a good question, and I'll tell you, the most recent office or large office that we opened was in Fredericksburg. Now that was probably 10 years ago, but we realized at that time that while plenty of people commute from Fredericksburg to DC or from Richmond to Fredericksburg, we knew that was not going to be the best way to become a partner or a true partner of Fredericksburg. And for that reason, the partner who ran that branch moved his family from Richmond. He had young children and his spouse, and the 4 of them moved up there to Fredericksburg and made it their home. And that's really the only way you can truly, become a real community partner, is by really understanding the community and by being a part of it. So that's something that we ask, of all the folks who work in our offices, that they be part of the community, whether it's our Charlottesville office or our Fredericksburg office or Stafford, because ultimately that's the only way you're truly going to understand the folks and the need that they have, on the ground. And let me just, I know we're here to talk about Ride United, but you mentioned the Hometown Heroes program, and that's great that you have some friends who were recognized as heroes. I was going to point out that we've actually, you mentioned the shine and the publicity they get, which of course is one of the goals, is to give them that recognition they deserve. But this year we actually changed, we have a new program, and it's called Allen and Allen Cares, Helping Our Heroes. And what we're going to be doing this year is once a month, we're going to be recognizing a hometown hero and providing them with $1,000 donation towards their cause. So that's going to be another way that we're going to be providing support to our hometown heroes going forward. So I just wanted you to be aware of that since you brought that up. That's a new change that we literally just started. And in fact, our very first picks will be some folks that we're recognizing this month. So I just wanted to throw that out there. But
Okay, counselor.
yeah.
The way the program works is you can't just tell us something and we're going to leave it there. So you got to come back with the people, and then all of a sudden you're saying, okay, so these are the people that we're recognizing, because that's what we do here. We don't keep secrets here at this program.
All right.
We let people know. All righty,
Fair enough.
Audrey, so we were at the end of 2019. You guys sit around the big table. You're doing your strategic planning. You're going to kill it in 2020, and then Corona showed up. Okay, you make it through 2020. How did that change the business model? And what did you do that you look back now and said, if Corona had never showed up, we would have never done that? But you know what? Now that we've done it, it works out kind of well.
There are so many answers to that question, Mike, and I think we could probably go for a good 8 hours, but for your listeners' sake, I'll keep it succinct and short.
So that's the one I tell people, this ain't 60 Minutes, and I'm not, Leslie Stahl or Gail King. This is, I got one good question per interview, and I kind of roll it into that one because that one kind of makes me look like, wow, that guy really deserves to have a radio show. But that's all I got. So go ahead, please take it away.
I love it. And that's a great intro into talking about COVID-19 and really the impact of this pandemic on our community. There are a lot of terrible negative things that have happened, and the inequalities that existed and inequities that existed before the pandemic are only exacerbated by it, right? So we've seen the effect of a health crisis, but also an economic crisis impact our most in need residents and our most systemically impacted residents in our community. As we went into 2020 and everything changed and no one knew what was happening, and we all together kind of leaned in and said, let's figure this out. We cannot stop serving our community. It opened the door to become, I believe, braver and more innovative and more collaborative with organizations than we had been before. We had the opportunity to lean in and to take a risk and perhaps make a mistake or not be afraid to make a mistake in order to have continued service and to make sure that families and individuals had everything they needed to survive and hopefully go from surviving to thriving as we work our way out of this pandemic. We were able to come together with organizations to work with the COVID-19 Response Fund and fund nonprofit organizations across the region with Plan RVA and Community Foundation for a Greater Richmond and other partners for millions and millions of dollars that got people access to food, to housing supports, to get internet access on buses that drove out to communities where students could access Wi-Fi to do their virtual schooling when they couldn't be in school themselves.
That was a pretty cool move right there. That one was something that kind of got me like, wow, they're taking buses and making them hotspots and taking them out to the community. So I just had to drop that in. Sorry about that. I just got excited with that one.
It's a thing to get excited about, Mike, because it's something that we don't think about when we're in urban areas. For example, I live in Northside in the city of Richmond, and so for me, internet access is not something that I think about all of the time. But in our rural areas, in our rural communities, and in some areas of the city, folks don't have reliable internet access. Whether it's they can't afford it, the broadband doesn't reach them, or some other issue that they face. Maybe they have multiple kids in the house and a job that's all virtual. How do you support the bandwidth that's required to have that access? And so by coming together with all these organizations, which included our business partners and community networks, our nonprofit partners to provide these services through this COVID-19 Response Fund, we were able to address some of the issues that became a crisis issue and a pandemic issue that had existed long before, but became even bigger and greater in the past year.
Okay, Counselor, let's talk about let's give the stump speech, the 30-second elevator pitch for Alan and Alan. Then we can touch on how COVID has changed your industry, now doing things that you guys hadn't previously done in the past.
Sure. Well, I can just tell you my personal speech is what I've told my two twin 16-year-old boys when they ask me, they don't ask me so much anymore because they know now, but when they were younger, why do you do what you do? And it's because I enjoy helping people. And one of the things you do as a personal injury lawyer is you're helping people many times when they're confronted with one of their largest challenges, if not the largest challenge in their life. They're overcoming serious injury or death in a family of a loved one. They sometimes have some financial issues as well because they're not able to work or they've lost the earnings of a loved one. And there's just a lot of pressure on them. It's a very, very difficult time for them emotionally, but like I said, sometimes financially as well. And my job is to help people, to guide people through that process. They always say that we're lawyers and counselors, so certainly help them with the legal side of things, but there's a lot of handholding as well and giving advice and just trying to help people through a very, very difficult time in their lives. So I really enjoy that. I've done that my entire career, and what makes Allen Allen special, and I've worked in other law firms as well, in my opinion, is that while we are the oldest and the largest, which gives us an enormous amount of resources and strength, you're also treated like family. It is a family firm. It was founded by a father and his three sons in 1910. And while there are still some of the Allen family members in the firm as partners, the firm has evolved, is much larger, much more diverse than it was 20 years ago when I started the firm. But it still has a family feel. We treat our staff like family. We treat our clients like family. And that's one of the things, in my opinion, that sets us apart from some of the others who do what we do. So in terms of the pandemic and how has it changed the legal profession, there's no question that it has. And you would think that lawyers are fairly adaptable and cutting edge. And it's funny because for years we were using video conferencing, but rarely. And it was something that when you did use it, it required special technology and a lot of stress because you weren't sure if it was going to work correctly. And sometimes you'd even have to have off-site IT people come in to put it all together. And now, of course, almost overnight in March of last year, it became something that we're doing on a daily basis, sometimes multiple times a day. And that has changed the practice of law without question. Hearings, not all, of course, we're now slowly getting back into the courts, which is a wonderful thing, but there is no question that it's going to have an impact on the way that the legal world works. I think there will be a lot less travel. A lot of depositions that were conducted in the past by flying somewhere or driving somewhere will now be done by Zoom. We're seeing that. We're seeing mediations, which are essentially settlement conferences, where we have folks from the insurance industry in their office. We have the other attorney in their office. We're in our office. Our clients are in their homes, and a mediator, which is usually a retired judge, is in their home or office. And we're all just linking together and getting things done that in the past required all of those parties to travel, whether it was by car or train or plane. So the amount of time savings is substantial. And of course, there's some expense savings as well. So I think that we're going to see a lot more of that. Even some of the courts are doing hearings virtually, although we may see some of that roll back now as the courts are reopening. But that's going to be a major change, in my opinion, that's going to last. I don't think we're going to be doing it 100% like we have over the last year, but I don't think we're going to be giving it up either.
That's going to be accepted form of doing business in the legal field, you're thinking, going forward?
I think it's not only to be accepted, but expected by some. So I think that, certainly in some industries, the insurance industry, for instance, they're not going to want to pay a lot of their folks to travel for mediations when they can do it and have done it over the last year successfully by staying in their office. So I think there will be things like that, and they're not going to want to pay their lawyers either to travel for certain types of events. So I think there will always be things that it's better to be in person, no question. But then there are some things we've learned to adapt to and have found that they can be done as effectively virtually.
On the mic with Mike, we have Jason from Allen and Allen, Audrey from the United Way here talking with us on the mic with Mike. ESPN Richmond 106.1. That's where you find us 5 to 7 a.m. You can always find us on the Choice 105.3. That is 2 to 3. Well, that's me and partners of mine. One good thing about keeping great people around, you give them time to shine and tell their stories, and you you expand the platform. So that's where we are. That is a shameless plug for the program. Audrey, how do folks get into the system to access you guys, whether it be nonprofits or individuals? Give our listeners an idea of how they can connect you with you guys and some of the services that you can provide as we're going into summer. A summer that seems like, I don't know if people are totally scared of this summer or what it's going to be. Like, we're like, okay, people are ready to get back out. Some of the people you go in with masks, others are don't. Pools are open. Well, they're not sure. So, ma'am, it's up to the United Way to save us.
Well, we are here to do as much as we can, and I will say, cautiously optimistic is the feeling that comes to mind when I think about summer 2021 after the year that we have behind us, and I'm cautiously optimistic as we head toward what looks like the end of a pandemic and a recovery period. This summer and right now and at any time, the best way to reach us is at our website. It's yourunitedway.org. We have tons of information there and ways, whether you're an individual or a business partner like Allen and Allen, or a nonprofit looking to become a partner, to join with us and find out the different ways and opportunities. This includes volunteer opportunities, funding opportunities, and other mentorship and just different ways to get involved in your community. We're always here to help individuals and businesses and nonprofit partners figure out their spot in that path to success, on those steps to success. If you are an individual in need, the best number to call at any time is 211 though. So if you are in crisis or you have an emergency or you need a support service, pick up the phone, call 211. You can also text 211 now. That's a new 2021.
Wow, that's
so yeah. It's about time we've got texting. So you can text 211 and talk to a real person who works and lives in the area and can provide support services and recommendations for whatever your need is. And that's a critical number. And we ask everyone, get the word out. That's always the best place to call if you're in need.
Alrighty, so Jason, Allen and Allen, you guys are known to help the community, which is always a case of, well, we're going to call the guys who we know are helping. How do you determine you can't help everybody. How do you determine which ones to help and, make that determination?
Well, it's hard, and one of the hardest things you have to do when you're talking about something like that is to say no, because you're right. We'd love to be able to say yes and offer our support to every group that asks, but we do have to look at while we have our partners and our attorneys and our staff are welcome to support anything they want. As a law firm, we try to identify partners that focus on the communities that we serve, so the actual geographic communities that we serve and work in, but also those that have the best fit with the firm and our the firm's reason for being, which is protecting the injured. And we've viewed this partnership with United Way and helping those who are underserved as being a perfect one with Ride United. So this particular program that and we supported United Way for, as we said, for a decade or more. But this particular program, Ride United, is providing free rides to and from vaccination sites for the first and second dose of the vaccine. So that was something that we felt was a perfect partnership. A good example is every year we do a free rides home campaign at New Year's Eve, because we all know that drunk driving is incredibly dangerous, and anything we can do at Allen and Allen to try to make the roads a safer place for our communities is important to us. So we provide free rides home to those who are who need a ride home, who can't drive safely, and it takes them home from the bar to their home at the end of the night on New Year's Eve. But this year we decided to take some of those funds, provide them to United Way as part of their Ride United program to provide access to vaccines, because this is another way. We want to, just like Audrey and you and everyone else, Mike, we want to get this pandemic behind us. And the best way to do that is to get everyone vaccinated. And for those who can't get there because they can't afford to get there or they don't have access to a ride, we want to provide that to them. So that working with United Way, we're able to take our desire and turn it into a true plan that was implemented from idea to implementation in a matter of weeks. And that's one of the benefits that Audrey and United Way provide to us. is that they're able, with all their resources and their experience and their network, they're able to take an idea and some financial backing and turn it into a plan that makes a positive impact on the community.
All right, Audrey, let's talk about the program. You know what? My wife kind of gets on me because I call it the Joe Juice. And I think it's hilarious, but maybe she's heard it. We've been married for 40 years. So, maybe it's not as funny to her. But I'm like, okay, when it came time, I was holding both arms up. I'm like, yo, you got to give it to me quick. I'll be the first one. Talk about the importance of getting people out, giving them the ability to go get it who may not have that ability.
So the COVID-19 vaccine is one of the best ways to see the light at the end of this tunnel, right? To end the pandemic. For those who are eligible and willing, the vaccine is the safest, it's an effective way to protect our loved ones and protect our community. But the reality is, it's not very easy to get to a vaccination site if you don't have transportation. And this is true for even those vaccination clinics that are popping up in local pharmacies. Think about how far away my local pharmacy is, and even that requires time if you're walking or riding your bike or a car to get there. That's to cross lanes of traffic, right? And transportation has been one of the biggest issues and challenges in our region for a while now. This is not just pandemic related, but again, like I mentioned before, some of the issues that existed pre-COVID-19 are just astronomically worse. And access to transportation is one of those things. So what Ride United does is it provides free or discounted rides for our community members who have challenges with getting transportation to a vaccination site to get that COVID-19 vaccine. It's a round trip support, and it's for as many doses as they need to get fully vaccinated over the time period that they need it to be in. And it can go to a site that's in their neighborhood or at a place that they trust, whether it's their local pharmacy or their doctor, or maybe it's a nonprofit organization that we partner with who's providing those vaccinations. But it's designed so they can get there on their time and with a reliable ride and not have to worry about all of the details that go around. How do I get there? How do I get home? What do I do if it's at a time when I don't have access to a bus schedule? And some of those things that get in the way of making it easy to access those vaccinations.
And really quickly, how can people find to get involved with that program?
Our website, yourunitedway.org, there's a get involved, and they can request a code. It's a lift code through us right there on our website. And within 2 business days, we'll have that back to them.
Alrighty, Jason, one last thing, parting words, anything for us? Let folks know how they can find Alan and Alan when we get into a situation we need an attorney.
Of course, well, the best way, of course, these days is just alanandallen.com. That's our website. You can also follow us at Alan and Alan on Facebook and at Alan and Alan Law on Instagram. But everyone knows how to find us. Google. There's only one law firm, Alan,
That's
Alan,
right.
and Alan. Everyone makes fun of the name, but that's an
I know who
easy
you
one to
are.
find. That's
You
right.
know, like they say, just Google them. That's what they do. All righty, on the mic with Mike, we have the good folks over at Alan and Alan. Make sure you support them. United Way. We'd like to thank you guys for always being great. And like I said, you guys are part of the family now. Come back and let us know what's happening on the mic with Mike, the best business radio program around. I'm your host, Mike King, and thanks. We'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks now.
Thank you, Mike.
Take care. Bye-bye.